Hi everybody, this is Dr. Osborne, and wanted to let you know that we'll be starting a boot camp for the folks in our office. And we've had a lot of people come and ask, why are you starting a boot camp? What is it? What are the benefits? And so I wanted to just make a short video for you to kind of give you an idea of what we're trying to accomplish. So the question is, why a boot camp? For one, we get faster results. Group training is much more effective than one-on-one training. And the biggest thing that I hear from patients over and over again is, I don't have time to get exercise in. So we want to be able to provide a program that shatters any excuses about exercise from my patients so that we can get results, because that's why you're here in the first place. Now, we talk about this triangle of health and why it's important. And most people, when they come to see me, we effectively evaluate biochemistry, we effectively evaluate mental status, and we effectively evaluate the physical components. And then I give patients assignments to do, and oftentimes those assignments fail when it relates to the physical component. And so the physical component, which is a large part of that is exercise, is equivalent to 33% of a person's total health. So if we think of that as a grade, already if we're not exercising, our total health, our grade is a 67. It's not so good. Remember that the body is designed for movement. There's this vicious cycle that people go through, and that kind of goes like this. As we age, we exercise less. We exercise less because we are getting older. And the older we get, the less exercise we are capable of doing. And it's not because we're less capable. It's because when we don't exercise, our body causes the muscles and the joints to shrink, and so our muscles and joints are less capable of proper movement or a full range of motion. And then we accept the consequences of this lack of range of motion and this weakened muscle state. We accept the joint pain and the physical limitations as a consequence of aging instead of our past actions. In essence, our lack of exercise has led to this problem, but we tend to want to blame that on age. So what does science have to say about exercise? Number one, maintaining lean muscle mass prolongs the human lifespan. Everyone in the scientific community agrees upon this. It's been shown in study after study. Number two, muscle is not just for moving joints. Remember that muscle is a storage system for our immune systems. In essence, if we need to draw protein to make antibodies to fight viruses or bacteria, etc., we can do so by tapping into muscle tissue if we have extra muscle tissue to tap into. But if we're already in a state of atrophy, our immune systems tend to suffer. Number three, muscle movement increases oxygen uptake by the brain and other tissues. So the movement itself pumps the blood through the body. The blood carries the oxygen to our tissues. So exercise in and of itself makes the body a more efficient metabolic machine. Number four, muscle movement improves the lymph flow or lymphatic flow through the body. The lymph is the lymphatic system in the body, carries our white blood cells to different regions so that our immune system is capable of fighting off things. And so when we don't exercise, we actually reduce our immunity. That's one of the reasons why exercise deficiency has been linked to diseases like cancer. Cancer is an immune system issue. Number five, muscle use helps regulate blood sugar and insulin levels. We all know that insulin drives the aging process. So if you want to slow down the aging process and age gracefully, then you exercise, because exercise reduces the amount of insulin that your body has to produce in order to regulate your blood sugar levels. Maintaining lean muscle mass also reduces the risk for the development of a host of different chronic degenerative conditions. As you can see here, diabetes, osteoporosis, cancer, heart disease, obesity, arthritis, and fibromyalgia are just a few of those conditions that we know exercise helps to reduce the risk of. Let's talk a little bit about myth and reality when it comes to exercise. A lot of people, especially women, think that exercising will make their muscles too big and that they'll turn up looking like She-Hulk. And this is just not the truth. Unless you're using some type of steroid enhancing agent, good exercise is not going to make your muscles too big. It's actually going to make them much more firm, much more tone. Another myth is that cardio is effective for weight loss. When a person does cardio day in and day out, long bouts of cardio greater than 20 minutes on an elliptical run or on a treadmill or a bike, what they're actually doing after about 20 minutes is they're eating into their muscle tissue. So while they're on the machine, they may be losing or burning calories rather, but if they burn too many calories, at a certain point their body starts to tap into the muscle tissue, and so they actually develop muscle wasting. That muscle wasting slows down the metabolism in the long run, and so actually leads to weight gain. This is one of the reasons why, if you look at the difference between a long-distance runner and a sprinter, a long-distance runner has very, very little muscle mass. If you look at their bodies, they're very soft. Whereas if you look at the body of a sprinter, they're very, very well muscled, very, very well cut. And one of the reasons why is they never do these long bouts of cardio on a consistent level that eats into their muscle tissue. Myth number 3, calorie counting is effective. Calorie counting is only effective to a certain extent. Remember, we base calories on the energy that a food produces when it's locked in an airtight box and burned. So we measure the heat, and that's what we call we heat from the food burning, and that's what we call a calorie. So your body doesn't work like an airtight box, so there are a lot of other variables and factors. There's a hormonal effect of food, so if a food drives your insulin levels up, it can cause you to gain weight, even though you may not be eating an overconsumption of calories. So there's a lot of components to weight loss beyond calorie counting. Another myth is that walking is an adequate form of exercise. I hear this on the radio, I hear this all the time on the TV. Just park further from the store, walk up the stairs instead of using the elevator. Although these are great ideas, these will not promote muscle gain and muscle tone. You have to do something a little bit more aggressively if you want to achieve your health goals. Myth number 5, you need an hour to exercise effectively. You know, a lot of people, one of their biggest drawbacks is time, so they don't want to go to the gym 5 times a week for an hour and a half. You don't need that much time to effectively exercise. 30 minutes 3 times a week, if done properly, can be far more effective than 5 days a week going for 90 minutes. Remember that the goal of exercise is to build and or maintain muscle mass. So if we do an exercise or a form of exercise that's not moving us toward that goal, we're wasting our time. So what is stopping you? There are a lot of excuses people give for the lack of exercise. Time is one of the biggest concerns or the biggest excuses that we hear. Pain. Sometimes people are in pain, and so they limit their motion and their movement, but what they don't realize is that it's the pain. The pain may be stopping them from exercising, but it's the lack of exercise that's actually contributing to the pain, so it's kind of a catch-22. Energy levels. Well, the paradox of exercise is the more you do it, the more energy you have. It's not the opposite. The more you exercise, the less energy you have. Kids. We've got the obligation of our children, certainly, but one of our obligations to our children is to lead by example. So if we're using the excuse of our kids and not exercising, we're not making a very good example, and so our kids are going to grow up and do the same. Work is another excuse, but you got to keep in mind that you won't ever, on your deathbed one day, you're not going to say, I wish I would have stayed at work an extra 2 hours. But what you may say is, I wish I would have done more for myself. I wish I would have done more to make my life a healthier one. And then there's also the modern convenience. Most people are so trained and oriented toward modern convenience that they don't want to take the time for themselves to keep themselves healthy. And that's just a big mistake. We also have to ask what is motivating you, because these are the things that are going to get you to get off the couch and actually go to work. So, God, your body is your temple. If you are not exercising and not taking care of your temple, you're actually working against God. You're moving away from God. So if you're a religious person, you got to realize that God wants you to keep your body healthy. Your body is a gift, and it's your job to take care of it. You can't just go to the store and buy a new one if it breaks down. Yourself, you should be able to have some degree of self-motivation, self-pride. Vanity plays into this to a certain extent because most people care about what they look like. So if you're exercising and you're not obese, you're obviously going to be or have an enhanced appearance about yourself or an improved mental appearance about what you look like. And of course, we've shown that when people are thinner, when people are healthier looking, they have better chances of landing jobs, they have better chances of success in life. Your spouse. Your spouse should be a good motivator as well. One, you should lead by example for your spouse, but two, you want to stay healthy for your spouse, because if your spouse depends on you and your health is poor, then you're actually counterproductive in that relationship. Your kids, well, you have to set an example for them. So if you're setting the wrong example, in essence, if you're not exercising or not teaching them how to exercise, where are they going to learn it from? They're certainly not going to get it in school. Your friends can be motivators. This is why we are starting group exercise. We're trying to create a community around exercise where you have friends that show up with you that can help to motivate you. Remember, the big motivating factors should be improved health, improved mobility through all stages of life, and improved physical appearance. Those are the three big self-motivators that most people have. On the improved mobility side, a lot of people, I hear this a lot, I'm going to retire in 10 or 15 years and then I'm going to travel. Well, if you sit on your keister for another 10 or 15 years and you gain an average of 2 to 5 pounds a year, and then now you have enough money to go and travel, but you don't have the mobility to be able to walk around and visit and hike and do the things that you wanted to do, what good is having the money? So you want to maintain that mobility through all phases of your life, not just through the early ones. These are some pictures of people that have joined and started with group exercise. A number of them have had dramatic results. And in this case, this was 15 weeks into the program. This woman lost 15 pounds. You can see 8 inches off the bust, 8 inches off the waist, 9 inches off the hips, 3 inches off the arms, 5 inches off each thigh. So that's 33 inches total. That's quite prolific. That's quite profound. Here's another example of a young woman who started with group exercise. And you can see from her before and after, she looks much better and is much healthier. Here's a phenomenal result from Norm. He dropped 97 pounds. You can see his before and after. And here's another one. We have, in just a very short time, went from a size 12 to a size 0, only doing 30 minutes 3 times a week. And then this woman lost 3 dress sizes. Now the following pictures are examples of transformations that took place in just a 6-week period of time. So 6 weeks is a relatively short period of time to exercise, but you can see these before and afters that in just a 6-week period of time we can get a pretty prolific change in physique and in overall health. Here's some more examples. And yet again, some more examples. Now, something that we're offering for anybody who signs up for our office group exercise boot camp is what we call the Skinny Jeans program. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you do well. And so if you meet your fitness and weight loss goals during our program, then your first new pair of jeans is going to be on me. I'm going to buy you your first new pair of jeans as your sizes drop. So, and this is for people that sign up for our 6-month program. We will be taking body fat, and we will be weighing in, and we will be taking statistics so that we can measure results for everyone who signs up. So I hope this explains a little bit more about why we're implementing a group exercise program, and hopefully you can join us and start on the path to improving your health, improving your physique. And all you have to do, there's a couple of links below this video. You can just click on the links if you want to get started with the program. And we hope to see you there. Have a great day. This is Dr. Osborne signing out.